Hi guys, it has now been 6 weeks since I went on a seed sowing frenzy and sowed everything that you can see in these greenhouses behind me and more. So I thought it was probably time to give you another update because I've had lots of requests for updates as to how my spring and summer seedlings are growing, so you can compare them to what you're growing at home. I've already made a bunch of mistakes, which I'm going to share with you now, but overall they're going really, really well and I'm pretty excited. I can't wait to show you. Before we get into it, there's quite a few new subscribers on my channel, which is really exciting and flattering. I started this as a bit of a hobby, so it's always really nice to see other people are also enjoying watching this sort of thing. A bit about me for those who are new here. Christy Cooper is my name. I am, when I'm not out here gardening and not raising babies, a TV news reporter. I am, however, on maternity leave at the moment because I have a beautiful 6-month-old baby. It's been a really big couple of weeks for her. She's had croup, so she's been really sick. We've been in and out of hospital a couple of times. Her first 2 teeth have come through. She started solids, so there's been a lot going on. I also have a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old at kindy and school. And I grow lots of veggies in my backyard in Melbourne, Australia. In this channel, what you can expect is to just grow with me. Every month at least, I give you a full tour of what I'm growing in my garden here in Melbourne. And I also love doing tours of other people's gardens. So if you know someone in Melbourne or within, an hour's drive that has an amazing garden that we should be featuring, or someone that you think we can learn from, send me a message either in the comments or you can find my email address in the description. Let's get into it. If you haven't yet subscribed, hit the subscribe button now. Also, if you can hit the like button, that also helps people find this video and gives it a little bit of a boost. So you know things are getting serious when I have 2 greenhouses set up. I do still have some seedlings growing upstairs, but as you can see, they are just all getting way too big. At the top here, I probably need to transplant a lot of these. The tricky thing about some of these is that they all look the same. I've got pumpkin growing in the back there. I've also got some whole lot of zucchinis and a whole lot of cucumbers, and they all look really, really similar. They're growing at a similar rate. Have a look there, you can see lots of those little buds coming through. You can also see a few that have yellowing leaves. That's because I really need to transplant them into a bigger container. They are outgrowing that container, so that is on my to-do list for today. I've also already given them a dose of fertilizer because they're probably not getting enough nutrients in there. You can see 3 of those plants sharing one. That's way too small. I need to get moving on transplanting those. These are my lettuces. Some extra info for all of you guys who haven't been following my other recent videos is that the reason I'm growing so many things is so I can sell them at the kindergarten fundraiser in 3 weeks' time. These are going to be really big in 3 weeks' time, so I'm not sure how I'm going to manage that, but we'll come up with a plan. I've got the corn growing at the back there. I'm not going to sell that. I'm going to keep that for myself. And parsley here, which is all doing really nicely. My basil has been a flop. I found a couple of little caterpillars in there. They weren't the standard green caterpillars, so I actually don't know what they were. But I planted a lot of seeds, and you can see I've only got 1, 2, 3, 4 healthy basil plants coming through, which is really, really disappointing. So basil is not going to be my big seller this year. But yeah, that's been my biggest disappointment so far. Got more corn down here, which again, I'm probably going to keep for myself or just give to friends or family. I probably don't have enough space for all that corn. And nasturtium at the back. Really good flowers for planting to attract bees. They also attract the cabbage white moths, which might sound like a bad thing, but if you've got any of them around, you want them to be eating these and not your other veggies. Have I taken them all out of here? Oh yeah, I've got a couple more in there. I don't know why that's there. Let's take a look in here. So it's tomato time in here. These ones are my Black Russian tomatoes that by far have been doing the best. They grew way too big in the containers they were in, so I've started transplanting them. I've got some more transplanting I need to do. They were all Black Russians at the back there. These ones are beefsteak tomatoes. Again, I transplanted them too late. They were all stuck together. They were starting to go yellow, but since I have moved them into their own pots and given them some fertilizer, they're starting to get a nicer shade of green. More tomatoes. You can see this one is not doing so well. I might have to pull that out. So here's the biggest mistake I've made so far. When I transplanted actually my sugar lump tomatoes, there's more in somewhere else, I'll show you in a minute. When I transplanted them, I did that outside and then I forgot about them for the night. So I actually left them outside in the cold wind, and by the morning a lot of them were just gone. Floppy, disastrous. People will often talk about the importance of hardening off tomatoes. Those seedlings probably would have been absolutely fine if I'd really gradually introduced them outside to the cold air and strengthened them up. But because I didn't harden them off, they did not cope being outside in the cold weather. So that's just a little reminder of how important it is for you to harden off your tomatoes before you bring them outside. One way of doing that, which is a little bit easier, is to actually put them into a greenhouse like this and keep it closed the majority of the time, and just gradually increase the amount of time per day that you have it open so that they're exposed to those elements. I've moved some of my other seedlings up into this new greenhouse. This is one of my most recent purchases off Amazon, which I'm actually really pleased with. It acts as a greenhouse, but you can connect it into your garden bed. You do have to make sure it's really well secured because it can blow away, particularly in this high position. So I've got more tomatoes here. These are the early Cascade tomatoes. I've got one that I stuck in the soil just to see what happens. These are Capsicum plants that I have transplanted. And I have more that I haven't yet transplanted that I need to do really soon. And this looks really sad. It's got enough water there. I'm not sure why that's so floppy. That's a mini cucumber. Maybe it looks a bit dehydrated, but it's not. So I have no idea. So this greenhouse is currently perfect for protecting my seedlings, but pretty soon I'm going to be putting some summer veg under there so that they can start to grow and strengthen up before the temperature actually is warm enough for them. If you guys want to check it out, I will put the link in the description. I have recently signed up to become an Amazon associate. Which means that if you buy anything through that link, I can get a commission. It just means I can put a bit of extra time into doing these videos, and it's a bit more worth my while. I've just spotted something I want to show you. How cool is that? That is a dragonfly on my garlic. How gorgeous is that? All right, let's take you upstairs. I'm not giving you a full garden tour today. That will come at the beginning of the new month. If you want to see it, subscribe. So we are now upstairs, and this space is, you can barely tell that I've moved anything out of here. I have so many plants, don't I? Let's take you through what's growing here. Bird's eye chilies. I planted chili seeds. For some reason, a lot of those sprouted and only some of them have survived. I don't know why. This is the very beginning of a lemon tree. That was a bit of an experiment. I just want to see if I can grow a lemon tree from a lemon seed from a lemon, which it's working so far. What have we got here? Sugar baby watermelons. They're doing okay. Cucumbers. Zucchini. Parsley. So I've got some parsley inside and some outside, and coriander. All looking really nice actually. More watermelons at the front there. Growing slowly, as they often do. In this one, fennel, spinach, cos lettuce and beetroot. I probably should take the cos lettuce out so the beetroot can get enough sun. It's getting a bit too big. Speaking of sun, I am really enjoying this sunlight that I also bought on Amazon. I'll put a link in for that too. I feel like my seedlings are much healthier this year because they're getting a really consistent sun source. And so the sun comes in through the window, but it sort of moves from there over to here over the course of the day. with this, that sun source is much more consistent, and I feel like the quality of my veggies are a lot better this year, which I'm really happy with. Beetroot over there, more watermelons up there. I've got an abundance of black Russian tomatoes. They're the seeds I saved from last year using the paper towel method, which I might do a separate video on entirely because it has been so effective. And those tomatoes are just doing better than all the other tomatoes. I have way too many black Russian tomato plants. What's that down there? That's dill. More capsicums that I need to transplant. And my gatherer pots are doing really well. So these are the heirloom planters from Gatherer. That tomato plant is doing really well. That's just got water and nutrient solution in there. I'm not supposed to open it, but I'll show you the other one. This is cucumbers, which is also growing really nicely. I think they might be capsicum. I forgot to label them, which is a bit silly, so they might be a bit of a surprise. One of the heirloom planters didn't germinate, which was obviously a dodgy seed, so I've tried actually putting a bean seed in there, but I can show you on this one how they work. So the rock wool goes in there, and that is water plus nutrient solution, and the theory is they should grow to full size in this pot without ever needing soil, so that's pretty cool. Leave me a comment, let me know how everything you are growing is going at home, and don't forget the next full garden tour will be uploaded in about 10 days.